When most people think of New York, they picture the flashing lights of Manhattan. But step beyond the concrete jungle, and you will discover the Empire State is defined by sprawling natural wonders, a rich farming heritage, and highly active ecological architects. The misty peaks of the Adirondack Mountains rise above ancient forests, while the Hudson Valley stretches out in rolling waves of green and gold. This is a landscape shaped not just by geology and weather, but by living creatures and cultivated land working together in ways that most people never see. Two iconic symbols of New York, the industrious American beaver and the world-renowned apple orchards, serve as vital shields protecting this beautiful and complex landscape from forces that would otherwise tear it apart. The American beaver is New York's official state mammal, and it earned that title through relentless hard work. As master ecosystem engineers, beavers construct complex dams across streams and creeks using nothing more than timber, mud, and instinct. But these structures do far more than provide shelter for a single family of animals. By slowing down heavy river currents, beaver dams create vast, rich wetlands that spread across valley floors and low-lying terrain. During heavy seasonal downpours, these beaver-made wetlands act as nature's ultimate shock absorbers. Think of them as enormous natural sponges embedded directly into the landscape. When rainfall surges across hillsides and rushes toward towns and farmland, these wetland systems collect the overflow, slow its momentum, and store it safely within the ecosystem. Without this natural buffering system, that same water would barrel downstream with devastating force, washing away roads, flooding homes, and destroying agricultural fields that communities depend on. The beaver does not simply build a home. It reshapes entire waterways, creating a chain reaction of ecological benefits that protects both wildlife and human settlements across the state. Wetlands born from beaver activity also filter pollutants from water, recharge underground water supplies, and provide critical habitat for dozens of other species. In a very real sense, every dam a beaver builds is an act of environmental protection on a scale that no human infrastructure project could easily replicate. Complementing the work of the beaver is New York's premier agricultural jewel, the apple. Ranking consistently among the top apple-producing states in the United States, New York's rolling hillsides are lined with millions of orchard trees that stretch across the landscape in long, orderly rows. But these orchards are doing far more than producing delicious fruit. They are fighting a quiet and continuous war against one of the most destructive natural forces threatening upstate New York, which is soil erosion. The steep rolling topography of the region is highly vulnerable to heavy mudslides and soil depletion, particularly during intense rainfall events and the freeze and thaw cycles that define the state's dramatic seasonal changes. Bare hillsides exposed to these forces lose topsoil rapidly, leaving behind degraded land that can no longer support crops, wildlife, or healthy water systems. By planting vast apple orchards across these vulnerable inclines, farmers create something far more powerful than a simple crop field. They create a living net. The extensive, deep-reaching root systems of apple trees penetrate far into the rocky hillside soil, binding it together with remarkable strength. These roots grip the ground from multiple directions simultaneously, preventing the kind of catastrophic soil movement that would otherwise strip hillsides bare after heavy storms. Beyond their root systems, the canopy cover of orchard trees also reduces the direct impact of rainfall on exposed soil, slowing the rate at which water hits the ground and giving it time to absorb rather than run off. The result is hillside terrain that remains stable, fertile, and productive for generations of farmers and ecosystems alike. From the engineering genius of the beaver's wetlands to the soil-anchoring power of the great apple orchards, New York's environment is constantly shaped and protected by its wildlife and agriculture working in perfect harmony. These are not separate stories. They are chapters of the same ongoing narrative, one where nature and human stewardship reinforce each other in ways that keep the land healthy, resilient, and alive. The beaver builds its dam without any awareness of the towns it protects downstream. The apple tree grows its roots without knowing the hillside it holds together, and yet the result is a landscape that endures. If you love discovering the hidden connections that keep our world thriving, please hit that like button, subscribe to Nature Video Channel 22, and leave a comment below about your favorite wild space. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.